Fable the Lost Chapters is considered one of the easiest RPG of all time. Overpowered weapons and spells, easily exploitable mechanics, weak enemies, all this adds up to that. But at the same time, this game has interesting way of making gameplay harder, which is being ignored by majority of the players. For many quests of the game you can take so-called boasts, the difficulty modifiers, which add certain restrictions or extra tasks that you have to do to complete the boast. For a very long time I was convinced that it is nearly impossible to complete quests with all the boasts at the same time, especially for every quest of the game. And if you are familiar with the game, you should know that some quests have conflicting boasts, for example, one of which that asks you to kill every bandit, and the other one saying that you should not kill anyone during the quest. But it is actually not a big problem, because most of the quest does not have such conflicting boast, and for such rare cases you can just do both quests. There are also two quests, which are moral opposites of each other, so in order to complete all the quests with all the boasts, you should do 16 normal quests, 2 alternative quests, and do 3 quests again with conflicting set of boasts, in total of 21 different runs. 3 most popular boasts, which you can take almost on every quest, are as follows. No damage. No weapons, and no aggressive magic, with the only exception of physical shield, slow time and healing spells. Doing quest naked, and most importantly, without physical shield, which prevents you bypassing the no damage boast. These 3 boasts basically force you to do the quest with your fists only, without taking any damage, and without using any spell, with the exception of slow time and healing. I have tried to find some gameplay of people completing quests with all the boasts on YouTube. And the common ways of doing it are: using slow time spell, to make enemies stand still. Using mercenaries, to make them kill enemies for you. Using the physical shield glitch to ignore the no damage boast completely. In order to make the challenge more interesting, I will try to avoid using slow time spell if possible, and for all the quests, I will completely avoid using glitches and mercenaries bodyguards. Unfortunately, using slow time for some quest is inevitable, but probably intended way of completing them. But using glitches, bypassing one of the hardest boast makes the challenge trivial. And about bodyguards, well, I would say that using them is not that powerful, but definitely makes some of quest much easier. But the main problem with them is that it makes you think less creative about ways you can do the quest. In fact, almost all the quests in the game have some nice environment that you can use in your advantage to complete it. And after all, I personally never used mercenaries in more than 15 years of playing this game, and they always look out of place inside quests, so I will just ignore them, and do my best. So let me tell you, how I completed the Fable TLC with all the boasts, without ever using glitches or bodyguards. You can find all full videos of my playthrough in the description. I start my journey with Protect Orchard Farm quest, because it's the first quest in the game that has boasts in it. And before that, you actually have a lot of time to improve skills of your hero, which can help with faster movement, and the ability to use available spells if needed. Also you can explore the world up to Oakvale just at the start of the game, so that is exactly what I did for a preparation. Protect Orchard Farm quest has 3 main boasts in it, and also you should make sure that none of the crates are stolen, and none of the guards are dead. I'm going to do this quest without using slow time spell, but I still have to use the healing, because guards die very fast otherwise. My main strategy here is trying to avoid fighting bandits myself as much as possible, because it is really dangerous. Most of the time I just roll around, trying to block bandits from going to the crates, at the same time avoiding getting hit, heal the guards from time to time, and help stopping the bandits if they steal the crate.
You've learned some new moves, have you? Well, you're not the only one. I hope you've learned how to flourish. Go on.
Second stage of this quest is Fight with Whisper, and it's actually very easy. With good timings and a bit of luck, you can easily avoid getting damage at all. I try to use Flourish after each few hits, and attack again as early as I can. I'm not sure if that is the best strategy, but it worked several times perfectly. And that is it, the first quest is done. The second quest I did is Hobbe Killing Contest. And this one is already far more challenging than the first one.
On your target.
Besides 3 main boasts, you should also get at least 10 more kills than Whisper. Because of that requirement, and because the fact that Whisper has secret augmentation that help her killing Hobbes very fast, compared to unarmed player, and because she likes to steal all of your long and slow kills, and few other obvious reasons, this quest almost forces you to use slow time spell. At first I was trying to flourish Whisper all the time, to prevent her from getting kills, but that actually loses more time than it saves, and you have to do that constantly. Much better strategy for this quest is actually just trying to focus at one enemy at the time. Try to focus casters first, because they are the most dangerous and have the lowest amount of health. Try to fight them in the back if possible, because other hits may be easily blocked, and if you see that Whisper is fighting someone, and already deal damage, try to steal the kill from her. That is really satisfying to do. In the end I managed to get the score of 18 kills to 4, and it is possible to do much more, and probably prevent Whisper to kill anyone at all, but it is not required. And that is all you have to do for this quest. By the way, enjoy this nice cutscene at the end. The third quest is the Hobbe Cave, and it is actually one of my favorite ones. Besides 3 main boasts, it has the requirement of not getting the boy being harmed at any moment, sacrificing new innocent instead of him, and killing water nymph at the same time. I managed to not only complete all that, but also do this without ever doing a single hit to the enemy or using any spells. I start this quest by making several people follow me in the cave with me, just in case some of them will die in the process. And then I'm just trying to get in the last room as fast as possible, ignoring all the enemies. You can sacrifice any of your followers to the nymph, and not only the bandit, so it's unnecessary to save him while doing the quest, and actually may require slow time spell, which I try to avoid using. After boy followed me, I check which Hobbe types are being spawned, and there is about 20% chance of having the caster. If it was not there, I would just redo the quest from the beginning, because having caster is really important for the strategy that I'm about to show you. I go to the previous room, and try to run as fast as I can to the exit. The only Hobbe will trigger on me and should not harm the boy. In the next room I have more than enough time to roll to the entrance room safely. And now the very important moment, I pause the game and teleport using Guild Seal to the closest location. And because this location is necessary to go through during the quest, it is possible to teleport there. Using the Guild Seal from inventory can also save time and avoid the boy or yourself being hit by the Hobbe. The game obviously does not want the boy to just safely teleport with you, but it is actually a good thing in that case. I go back to the cave, and immediately roll back to the exit, and because the boy never stopped following us, and it does not ever matter in the Fable how far your follower is on the map, the boy safely goes outside with you. But there is one more thing you should do, is killing the water nymph. You can't ask boy to wait outside of the cave, but again, I can use the fact that I have previously teleported out of the cave, and that the game does not teleport the boy with you. I teleport using recall, and immediately enter the next room to not get hit, and got to the water nymph. And this is when the most interesting part begins. The fireballs that the Hobbe cast can actually deal small amount of damage to the nymph, and what is even more convenient, you don't have to initiate the fight to make her vulnerable to the attacks. That is not always the case in the game, and I was actually lucky it worked. Now I have to stand close to the nymph, and trigger attack on me by the caster, while almost constantly running from 2 other enemies. The whole process takes about 20 minutes in total, and after the nymph is dead, I teleport out of the cave using recall, and safely follow the boy to the end of the mission. And that is how this quest is done without a single spell or punch, with all 6 boasts. The next quest, Trader Escort, is so far the easiest one, because it does not have the requirement of not using weapons or spells, but I decided to do it with stick only, without using any spells, including slow time. There is actually a way of completing this quest with fists only, by throwing rocks back to the troll at the end, but it is reasonably hard and random to do, and is not required by the game, probably for a good reason. The only required boasts are doing the quest without protection and without taking any damage, and also, none of the traders should die. As an extra challenge, I'm also saving all 3 of them, because it's possible to do by just going fast enough. As soon as I get to the second location, I go for a bit, and then run away to the previous location, so the Balverine will disappear, because he would have been really annoying. It is very rare case actually, usually enemies stay in locations forever if you run away, well, not for this specific one for some reason. In order to get past the mushroom section, I try to scare some innocent people, to make them run into dangerous spores, so I can safely walk around them without using weapons or magic. Now I run through the next location as fast as possible, so traders won't die in the process. After that, I have to wait for a bit, until all traders will start follow me again, and this is also the moment, when the hidden timer starts for the infected trader, so I don't have any more time to waste. I quickly run to the last location of the quest, and fight the troll with my stick. In the process, I managed to get a nice timing and lock troll in infinite loop, not letting him any chance to attack me. As soon as I kill the troll, I go to the exit before the trader will transform. And at this point the quest is done, with all boasts, and few nice extra challenges. The next quest is find the Bandit Seeress. This one has even less boasts than the previous one. You should do this quest with no damage, but without any restrictions for magic or weapons. And also you can use shield to avoid any damage, because you have to use the bandit clothing to get past the guard. And you can choose between killing 24 bandits or killing no bandits at all. Both variations are very easy to do. And for my main playthrough, I am going to do the pacifist path, and not because it is easier, but because I am going to do it without using any weapons or magic anyway, which was probably considered too hard by the developers for this quest. And I am obviously not going to use physical shield spell as well. I quickly get past first 3 bandits by following very easy path and rolling, almost getting caught, but luckily escaping at the very last moment. The next section is quite annoying, because bandits have crossbow, which is one of the most frustrating weapons in the game for no damage runs. There are many bandits that can potentially hit you, and all I can do is just try to roll at right moments, go as fast as possible, and hope for luck. I don't really understand the perfect lines for this part, but after first dozen of attempts you just start feeling the most dangerous moments and how to avoid them, although it's still quite random. After getting in the camp, I take off my bandit clothes, because I don't need them. Then I quickly get to the last location with the most pacifist method, paying some money to the bandits and assassins. And now it's the time for the twin blade fight. The only moment you can hit him is when he does his long attack, dealing him just a bit of damage. And if you just follow in circle, you will get same cycles and same attacks every time. I found the way to safely avoid one of them, by just moving at the right moment, but the second type of his attack is actually pretty scary, even after long time of practice, and the roll timing is very precise. After all, beating him this way takes about 15 minutes, because at one cycle you can just do 2 hits with your fists, but in the end, I think it's totally worth it, and I'm completed this potentially the easiest all-boasting quest in absolute hardcore manner. The next quest, Trader Rescue, is one of the shortest quests in the game, if you do it properly. It took me about 1 minute and 25 seconds based on slightly inaccurate in-game timer. So the boast of doing it in less than 8 minutes was trivial to do. You also have all 3 main boasts here, and you should not kill any bandit during this quest. As an additional challenge, I'm not going to use any spells here, not even the healing one, and essentially completing it without doing a single hit. It may look easy to do, but it actually took me a nice amount of resets and experimenting with different orders of traders. Once again, bandits here have crossbow that can hit you at any time, but the main problem is how fast traders can die. At first I was trying to move each of them one by one, but that takes a lot of time, and they often die for no good reason. So I decided to move everyone at the same time, with basic idea of doing it as fast as possible, because moving 3 traders is not much more risky than moving one, and then repeating the very risky process for 3 times in a row. You can probably also avoid any trader being hit and also complete the quest even few seconds faster, but it's already good run in my opinion. At the end, I'm trying to go slower than I can, doing some pauses, to have some space to dodge, before traders finally get close to the exit. For the next quest, Trader Massacre, you should complete 3 main boasts in less than 4 minutes time limit, and also make sure that your bandit won't die in the process. I experimented a lot with ways of manipulating guards and other bandits, to maximize the speed of which I can do it, and trying to be safe at the same time. I start the quest with triggering all the guard on me, and then go to the nice tight place, where I can keep constantly rolling in the corner. The guards still can hit you with the sword, if they hit you at the right moment, and this strategy is still inconsistent, but fairly easy to implement. It has many benefits, such as there is only 1 or 2 guards that can attack you at the same moment, and rolling makes them rarely try to. Guards can attack you with the sword only, which is extremely good, they never have enough space to use crossbow. Guards are getting stacked in one place, mostly looking in my direction, so the bandit can easily hit many of them at once in the back. It is also much better when regular bandits are attacking innocent people and the big bandit attacking the guards, because he is much stronger, and also because when several bandits attacking guards, there is a weird behavior, when one of them just stops doing anything, and therefore it is much better when they are both busy at different targets. Also, you have to kill traders as well, so it is also important. You could probably also save the full health of the main bandit, as long as he does not get too close to you. In that case he will start fighting guards face to face, trying to protect you, and will lose his health really quickly and also far less efficient in killing them, because guards can block his attacks. So that is why sometimes I'm trying to push into the left for a bit, and get guards close to me instead. There are 3 waves of guards in this quest with different colors and increasing level of difficulty. My guess is that they go after small time after you kill the previous wave of guards, which is independent from the traders. After each wave I try to go out, to keep the bandit apart from me, so he will not get stuck with me in the corner as well, and can actually fight guards. And after the second wave I go to kill 1 or 2 traders to save some time, because in all of my other attempts I barely had time to complete the quest in the time limit. But in this attempt it was not even necessary, and I could actually have done this quest without a single punch, because of how fast this run was. Well, anyway, there is also a weird bug in this quest. In the final cutscene game asks you if you want to kill the trader or not, and hero takes the weapon in hand, and because of that, game thinks that you have failed the boast of not using weapons, no matter what you choose. Since you always have to use at least the stick, the only moment in the game when you can bypass this bug is after the fight with Jack of Blades, if you destroy the Sword of Aeons. But instead of that I will just ignore this bug, because it does not really matter, and I have completed this quest with all the boast, without using any spells as well. The next quest, White Balverine, only has 2 boasts in it. You should do it without protection, and without taking damage. There are no restrictions on weapons or magic that you can use. And you actually have to at least use the stick in this quest, because White Balverine cannot be damaged with fists. But doing the last fight with stick would take a very long amount of time, so I decided to not do anything crazy in here, and just complete this quest with bow only, without using spells, to make it a little more fun. There is no much I can say about it, the quest itself is pretty easy. All you have to do is carefully avoid attacks from White Balverine, and always stay as far from him as possible. And for the last fight, you should hit him from the long distance first. The arena is one of the longest quests in the game, but also one of the easiest to do with all the boasts. All you have to do is complete the quest without damage and protection, also choosing between killing or mercy whisper. That does not really affect the difficulty of the quest, besides the surprise moment for a first playthrough. I have actually tried to do this quest without any punches, to see if it is possible at all. And with using traps on the map, and some small amount of damage from the whisper, you can get to the troll rounds in about 1.5 hours, potentially taking some damage from White Balverines. But at troll rounds, and especially on the Rock Troll 1, it is nearly impossible to make Whisper deal any damage at all to the troll. She is just always stuck in an infinite loop of getting rocks in the face, and keep in mind that you also should somehow avoid all the rocks. So at this moment I decided to take some rest on this quest, and do it with all the powerful spells that I have. I quickly finished the wasps with Inflame. For Hobbs I did the same thing, but also use slow time to avoid attacks from the casters. For Balverines, I use my bow to kill white ones as fast as possible, because they are very dangerous. Undead round is not hard at all. For bandits, I try to focus on the enemies with crossbow, everything else is easy. On trolls, I try to use berserk, slow time, and multi-strike to kill them as fast as possible. Rock trolls have actually killed some of my attempts, because I could not kill them both in one cycles, and just get hit by rocks, but here I got lucky with them. The scorpion fight is easy with the bow, so not much to say about it. At maximum, at the end of the arena I got 234 combat multiplier, which is mostly just fun numbers. Because I have already upgraded everything I need for the hero before doing the first quest. For the Whisper fight, I have tried to beat her with trap only, like I already did in my no punches failed attempt. But for some reason she stopped getting damage, and I had to use some magic to finish the fight. Fun fact about this moment, is that Whisper is immortal after the first stage of the fight, and you can't kill her by pushing into the traps, so you have to use at least fists if you want to kill her completely. Well, anyway, I easily finished this quest with all the boasts required, although without any extra challenges. The next quest is Break the Siege. It has 3 main boasts, and also you should kill the leader of the bandits and don't hire any of the guards. But actually, that is not a big problem, because all you have to do is to just wait for a bit, while 3 bandits will run for the hostage, and then trigger the test of the bandits for you. Then as soon as alarm is on, the guard will attack the bandits he sees. And as long as you distract all of the other bandits and make him kill the leader first, you are fine. 2 other guards can kill the rest of the bandits easily. And at the end, I just block the hostage, so he can't escape before the end of the mission. This quest is pretty easy, and I actually did the second attempt on this, without actually using guards to help me, killing most of the bandits by myself, using slow time. Now it's time for 2 actually hardest quests of this game. The first one is Rescue the Archaeologist. You have to do all of 3 main boasts, and one of the hardest challenges is to complete the final mission in time limit. In order to do that, I'm going to use both allowed spells of slow time and healing as much as possible, to bring all 5 guards with me to the end. This is so far the only way I know that can help you complete this quest in time. You could actually try killing 2 of the minions at the end with fists, and then move everyone on top, going backward after, but that is not as fun, and did not work for me personally. Also, I'm going to do this quest in a truly pacifist way, without doing a single hit to the enemy. To save the first guard, you should kill the minion that he is fighting with. He will not attack any other enemy, and all other minions are only aggressive to you. The important moment here is that you should not go too far on the first map, otherwise more minions will spawn. All I do is trying to heal the guards, while moving around to avoid the damage from the Dreadwing. I also use the shovel to stop the slow time spell faster, just to save some time waiting. As soon as the minion is dead, and the guard got an icon on his head, you can safely go to the next location with 2 guards. It's probably impossible to do this part without killing all of the minions, because of the barrier, and how far away the Dreadwing is, so it's the longest part of the quest. Then all I do here is moving from place to place, healing the third guard, until he finally kills his minion and join me. The interesting thing is that as soon as he kills him, I don't have to heal my followers anymore, because minions are only aggressive to me in this quest, with the exception of first enemies of the guards and the Dreadwing that is holding the barrier, but he is not going to attack before I get close to him, so I have a lot of time to just move around, before guards will kill everyone. The only trick that I want to mention here is using the fence and the guards that get stuck at the entrance. That can help block the minions and make them actually attack the enemies before the next cycle. After they finally kill the minions, I got to the Dreadwing, wait until guards kill him, healing them from time to time. And now it's time for the troll room. In this room there are 2 more guards, and they are special in some way. My guess is that they are immortal. Before actually killing their minions, you can't see their health before that, and it is always full when they join you. All I have to do here is to go at the end of the map with slow time. With perfect luck, all 3 guards will follow you, as well as 1 minion. Then all I have to do is to just wait before 2 other guards are killing their enemies and join you. I also heal them, just in case, but it is probably completely unnecessary. At the end, I'm almost losing one of the guards, by pressing the H button, looking at the hero for some reason. My strategy here is to go on the bottom as fast as possible, to make every minion spawn, and then go in circles, to make guard fight as many minions at once as possible. There is also very annoying bug with the guards in this section. Some of the guards may stuck at the entrance, with crossbow in their hands, and do nothing, and the only way to fix this is to make the minion to get really close to them, which is very risky, and I have lost several attempts because of that. Now I got lucky, and only 1 guard out of 5 was bugged, and I just had to hope for luck. And actually, after very short time, I got lucky with the minions that guards have killed, and finished this quest very fast, With a lot of time to save on the clock, I was really proud of completing this one quest in particular. The next quest is probably even harder, and also has a broken boast in it. In Darkwood Disturbance you have all 3 main boasts, and you also should not let Briar Rose get hurt at any moment. But there are few problems with that. After some experimenting I have discovered that this last boast can fail even if Briar never interacted with the minions, and never have blocked any of the attacks, not even just talking about getting damage. Completing this boast may highly depend on luck and independent from the actual challenge it represents. Some people have said that she may get damage in the ending cutscene by the explosion, but anyway, there is no logical way to bypass this bug, and therefore I'm going to ignore it, but I will complete the boast requirement anyway. Fun fact is that in this quest she has 600 health, and each hit from the minion deals her exactly 12 damage, and there is no other way of damaging her, none of the blocked attacks deals her any damage. Each hit would have been clearly displayed on the health bar in the top right corner of the screen. You can find the full video of this quest and also all other quests in the description, and see that Briar never gets any damage during the quest. Anyway, let me explain some details of my strategy. First of all, this is impossible to do without slow time. It is very necessary to stop Briar and being possible to attack minions without getting hit at all. Fun thing about this quest is that all minions, like in the previous quest, are only aggressive to you, and never to Briar, but when she hits someone, he will start fighting her until I hit him instead. And if she hits the minion, I have to react really fast, because minions attack almost instantly if they are not on the floor. This quest consists of 3 pairs of minions, which attack you, if you don't go very far to trigger all of them at once. And Briar always focuses on one of the pair. After this one is dead, he attacks the second one, and after that, she tries to attack someone from the next pair of minions. I'm trying to go in circles, attacking the minion, which is being targeted by Briar at the moment. I beat him in the back only, to avoid getting blocked or hit, and try to carefully use the slow time spell, to not lose it at the wrong moment. Also I'm trying to separate 2 minions from each other, using Flourish, because I don't want the second one to randomly hit me. After each pair, I try to block Briar to go for the minion, because otherwise she will go too far to the map, and I would trigger all of the minions at once, which I don't want to do. The interesting thing about this quest is that I noticed the different type of the regular minion. It is only noticeable in slow time, and he looks exactly like all other minions. There is always exactly one special minion in this quest, in second on third pair. Unlike all other minions, he is much more dangerous, and starts attacking you from very far away, so it is the hardest one to kill, even in slow time. Anyway, after many attempts, and about 15 minutes, I managed to kill all 6 minions, avoiding all the damage. The second stage of this quest is very simple. All I have to do is to cast slow time as soon as possible, hit the closest minion. Then go to the next minion, and hit him as well. After that, the third minion will spawn in few seconds. I should hit him as well. And now, none of the minions will attack you, and no new minions will spawn, unless you kill some of them. Now Briar is finally doing her objective, and does not ruin the quest anymore. All I have to do is to go from place to place on the map, waiting for the end quest to the end. Once again, it says that I have failed the boast, but it is the bug that I have already explained earlier. The execution tree quest is actually funny, because you can finish it in 10 seconds by just killing the guy. To be fair, it would not be too hard to it the normal way, but that was just fun thing to do and I have completed the mirror quest anyway, so for me that counts. More of that later. Let's talk about the bounty hunt quest. In this quest you have two main boasts of not getting any damage and not using any protection, without restriction on weapons or spells. And actually, to complete this quest you have to use the bow or magic. Also, you have a special boast called Decapitate the Bandit Leader, which is in my opinion impossible to do with fists. The only other boast is to complete the quest in time limit, which is trivial. To make it more fun, I have decided to use bow only, but it is still one of the easiest quests of all, especially after the nightmare I have already been through. You can completely ignore all the bandits in main location, but in the fishing place you actually have to kill everyone to make progress on the quest, while the hostage casually sitting on the bench, enjoying his day.
Nice to see you, sir.
After that, you can completely ignore the scary bandit in the main location, and just got to the last one. Kill all the bandits, and decapitate the leader. In my opinion, this quest should not have boasts, it's just poorly made filler that helps you getting one of the treasure clues. The Bandit Spy Extraction quest can be done in two different ways, depending of the set of boasts you choose. As always, I'm doing Pacifist way, but in this time, because it is actually possible to do, compared to the evil version. You should do 3 main boasts in this quest, don't use help from any of the bandits, and never kill anyone in the process. In the evil version, you would have to kill every single guard yourself with fists only, and none of them should die from friendly fire or because bandits. Considering the insane amount of guard you have to kill, and basically blocked all the ways you could possibly do it, I think that evil version of this one quest is actually impossible to do without glitches. So I'm just doing the pacifist variant. At first I was trying to avoid using slow time spell, and I managed to find a way of getting Trader in the first location by talking with him as late as possible, because he follows you for some time himself. But you have no time to bring him to the city without slow time, he dies too fast. And even if you try to manipulate the guards in other places, before leaving the first area, it still would not be enough. So I just did this entire quest the most boring way possible. Also, fun fact about this quest, is that it is broken. If you go to the Bower Stone too fast, the game will show you the ending cutscene, but the quest will not be finished, and you will be soft locked in it. I don't really know how long you have to wait, but I do that for some time, and you can see how quickly the trader starts getting hit by the guards in the process. By obvious reasons, this is not one of my favorite quests, but I did it with all the boasts in pacifist way. The Ransom Victim is the last quest, which you can do in a single playthrough. And I actually liked it a lot, because it is possible to complete in a nice strategic way. It has 3 main boasts in it, and you also should not let the boy get hurt at any moment, and kill all of the kidnappers. I start the quest by teleporting to the Demon Door location using Recall. I can do that because I teleported from there before starting the quest, that can save a lot of boring walk time at the start. And this is the best time to kill 2 guards at the start, because in all other stages of the quest there will be much more people around. It is not too hard, and I'm using slow time, mainly because I am going to use some nice strategy later, that requires this spell. And also because assassins are scary fast without it, especially when there are 2 of them. Let me tell you about different choices you can do in this quest and the consequences. You can pay the kidnappers the money, and after that game would spawn many Balverines, including the white one at the Temple of Avo, and the boy will be scared of the monsters nearby, and they also are going to harm him, so not the best idea of trying to save him first, and then kill the kidnapper, like I could do in the Hobbe Cave quest. But if you kill the kidnapper, the game will spawn many assassins and bandits, and boy will be scared of them this time, if they are close to him. In fact, all the kidnappers you have to kill by the boast are 2 guards next to the door, and the guy in the cave itself. You can ignore all other, well, if you can. So far, I managed to kill 2 guards with fists and slow time. Now I enter the cave, and pay the kidnapper the money, to move the boy to the safe place, and then just kill the guy with the same method. Now it's time for the preparation strategy one was talking earlier. Basically, I just go out of the cave and cast slow time spell, then I hide behind the magic rocks. As soon as I have enough bandits following me, I go to the next location. This time I'm hiding at the temple. After that, I go to the last scary location. I can ignore Balverine, because the boy does not really care about him, since I killed the kidnapper, and the game in the different state. Well, he can still hit him obviously, but the boy is only scared of assassins and bandits in this version of the quest. Anyway, I go close to the arena. And after some time, I just go back to the cave in a shortest path. Now I ask boy to follow me, and use slow time spell, to go in the next location as fast as possible. As long as I am going fast enough, I can enter next location without boy seeing any of the bandit close to him. It is actually only depends on the distance from them. You can test that by using force push spell on the boy. His following icon will change. So, because I did a preparation, and using slow time, the boy should not get close to bandits, and can safely follow me. Because the distance between you and your followers does not matter for this game, as long as they are still your followers and not scared or anything. Fun thing is the preparation of the last location was not even necessary, and I managed to get it done twice without doing anything, but I did not want to do quest from the beginning, so I played it safely. In the end, I managed to get to the city with the boy, and the quest is basically done here. Fun thing is that you can actually bring the boy to his evil brother, and game still would count you all the boasts. But since it is a good hero playthrough, well, most of the time, I decided to finish it normally. At this point, I officially completed the Fable TLC, doing all the quests with all the boasts. All other story quests after Rescue the Archaeologist don't have any boasts until the end of the game. I'm not really sure why, but 16 quests was more than enough for me. In total, I completed all 65 possible boasts. There is also the boast number 66, but it's unachievable in the same playthrough, because the Bandit Spy extraction has 2 different killing boasts compared to 1 Pacifist boasts. Also, in-game counter shows that I have completed only 63 out 65 boasts, because the bugs in Trader Massacre and Darkwood Disturbance quests, but I have actually completed all the requirements in them. I have explained both bugs and why they can be ignored earlier in the video. Now, let me show you 3 extra runs of alternative versions for some of the quests. It is not the main part of my playthrough, because it cannot be done without loading older save files, so I was much less serious about them. And the first alternative quest that I did is attack Orchard Farm. In my opinion, this quest is actually easier than the Protect version. This quest has 3 main boasts: you also should not let any of the bandits die, and you also not allowed healing in any way, including spells. Fun thing is that you can heal bandits, as long as you don't heal yourself, but I'm going to do this quest without using any of the spells at all. I start the quest with distracting the guards, and as soon as some of them are dead, I got to the crates, and one of the bandit can follow me just after he killed the guard, and not yet triggered by the other one. It is very important that the other bandit is still fighting the guard, because as soon as he dies, the timer of the next wave of guards will start. So after the last guard is killed by the other bandit, I ask him to follow me, so he is not running away with the first one. And now, as soon as first bandit left outside the map, my follower takes the crate. Now I got a bit unlucky, I'm not sure what causes it, but if you look at the right moment to the bandit's path, the first bandit will appear running in the middle of the road, and you can immediately ask him to follow you for the last crate, without ever having the second wave of the guards. But anyway, as soon as the bandit is back, I ask him to follow me and try to focus all the guards on me, hoping that bandit will not be triggered by the guards, and it actually worked, which is honestly impressive. Now I just distract the guards, dodging all the arrows, and the only thing left to do is the fight with Whisper, which is the same as before and not hard at all. The next alternative quest is Genocide version of Find the Bandit Seeress. This quest is completely optional to do in my opinion, because you don't have any restrictions on using the weapons, magic, and even physical shield, which makes this trivial to do, and I just trying to show how easy it is to complete it in comparison for my hardcore pacifist version, that I have shown in the main playthrough. It is still possible to kill 24 bandits with fists, but probably very boring, so I just did this quest with bow only, killing every bandit on every map. The strategy is pretty simple, intended sneaky playthrough, trying to slowly kill every bandit from far away. Unfortunately, I have missed one hit by Twin Blade because of bad timing, making this quest technically invalid, but I never was actually serious about evil version of this, and I already did some nice run in it, so I'll just ignore it. Again, these quests are just bonus to the main series, so I don't care too much about failing it. I've decided to completely skip the second run of the arena, because killing Whisper changes nothing to the actual quest difficulty, and gameplay is basically the same. And finally, the last quest that I want to show you is evil version of the Execution Tree quest, called Execution Tree Rescue. In this quest you have 3 main boasts, and you should also make sure that none of bandits will die in the process. The last one is actually very easy to prevent, by just moving to the next location. If you leave all of them, it does not count as death. They have very low health, and technically you can try doing this quest by using healing spell, slowly going to the final location, But there is also a timer, so you have very limited time to do so. And actually you don't really need all these 4 bandits to stop the execution. In last location, there is another bandit, with much more health, that can potentially kill the guards for you, without any spells or punches from you. There are few problems with that approach. The first one is that getting to the last location without slow time spell is very risky, and after 30 minutes of attempts, I got lucky only twice. Once again, the crossbow is the most annoying weapon in the game. The second problem is that, as often happened before, all 3 enemies in last location are triggered on you, and it is very easy to get hit by arrow, even if you have survived the path there. And Bandit is not very good at attacking guard, and you should be always running close to him, to get any hits from him at all. And as addition problem, I never actually tested it, but you probably have to hit the executioner yourself to stop the timer. So with all these reasons, I have decided to simply complete this quest with slow time, slowly punching all the guards at the last location, finishing the last alternative quest with all the boasts. Well, there is also an evil version of Bandit Spy Extraction, but I have already explained earlier why I choose the Pacifist set instead, and ignore the evil one. This quest just gives you no ways of completing it in any reasonable way. Now it's the time for some final words. Thank you for watching this video. This took me many hours to make, and hopefully that was interesting. If you want to repeat or improve any of my challenges on any quest, feel free to write your achievements in the comments. You can find link to my progression spreadsheet in the description, with many details about each challenge that I did or could do in this playthrough, as well as a link for a playlist with full-length videos of each quest. I personally really enjoyed completing one of my favorite games in such level of difficulty. I have learned a lot of new things, and figured out many clever ways of completing the quest that always felt very easy to me. I also want to give special thanks to the Fable speedrunning community for the support and various tips for this game. The end.